Mitsubishi Triton. From being on a tow truck, faults, warranty and dealership concerns, you'll definitely want something to drink for this episode. We're going to start out with the issues of our Mitsubishi Triton. So to start off with, the actual issues are getting significantly less. So in terms of aftermarket support, they're actually getting much better. Now we've obviously had a whole range of different issues which we covered in a previous video of the MR Triton's good, bad and ugly video. A lot of that was aftermarket parts. We found that the aftermarket parts for the Triton were just rubbish and just not a lot of support. The dealers have no idea what's going on. So if you've been watching this, you'd notice that the parabolic leaf suspension from Terrain Tamer have completely been removed and constant leaves have been added. So they added 300s in, they didn't work out, so they put 500s in instead. So ever since we've gone Terrain Tamer parabolics, we've had nothing but issues. Now the constants are in, they are still squeaking, still waiting for that dealer to come back to us to get it back in to try and figure out how to fix this squeaking issue. No amount of grease you can add to it does actually resolve the problem. We've recently added an ARB canopy to our car. Yes, that means that the aluminium canopy is gone. That was due to crack, so we did a full episode on that. If you wanted to watch that, have a look through our channel. But the ARB canopy that we bought does actually have a window leak, so a warranty claim through ARB is required to fix that problem. We added a PIAC rear bar. As I've said in a previous video, they're just a fantastic product because they house all the sensors like the rear blind spot monitoring and also parking sensors, and also allow you to run your tow hitch in there as well. Problem is though, the PIAC rear bar didn't allow us to run any hitches that we have, so we had to come up with a modification to fix this problem to be able to put a hitch into the actual rear bar itself. Our left-hand front tyre has also worn out prematurely. This may have been contributed to the lift plus a bad wheel alignment. We've since had a wheel alignment done through a different company and it's been fantastic. We've put 2 brand new tyres on it and from what we can see, no more premature wear, but it is still only early days. On to wear and tear, and I tell you what, the Triton's actually handling it quite well, 30,000 Ks, and there's no real evidence of general wear and tear within the interior itself. So the interior looks still as good as it did on the day we bought it. We do clean it once a week. The black parts of the interior, the piano black parts, obviously they have had scratches over them and whatnot, but everything else still looks really good. Outside paint, a lot of people have made complaints on paint issues on the MR Triton. We've experienced no such issues. The paint is still in really good condition. It still looks like a brand new car. The entire reason the car was actually up on the back of a tow truck was just due to the dealer negligence. I was there for an additional 2 hours. No big deal at the end of the day. It is what it is. I've got nothing better to do than sit around the Mitsubishi dealership, according to them. When I sat down and listened to their conversations, quite interesting conversations of denial of warranty and whatever else, I was really intrigued by all of the conversations that were going on around me. There was lots of swearing, giggling and all sorts of stuff going on in the Mitsubishi dealership. I know it's okay to be a cowboy. I love to be a cowboy. I like to swear in front of my mates as well. But when you're in a professional environment like that, it's probably not the best place to be doing it. Our ute got service. Driving home, I could smell a very distinctive smell of diesel coming through the cabin and popped the bonnet just to investigate what's going on. To my horror, there was diesel all through the engine bay, all down the wheel well, all down through underneath the car. It had gone all over the suspension strut, underneath the suspension arm and all over the left-hand tyre. One of those things would have effectively been that the actual fuel filter wasn't done up tight enough and it was spewing diesel out of it. The other problem was they just didn't clean the diesel once they had fitted this new diesel filter, which either of those situations is just not good enough. So, of course, the next day I rang up Mitsubishi, bit of a discussion with them. I was quite heated as it had completely ruined my day's plans and would obviously go on to completely destroy my weekend plans as well. Their advice was to call roadside, put it on a tow truck and bring it back. So when I got back to the dealer, I had a few choice words with the supervisor there and just basically stated how unimpressed with the service I was. Not even a sorry from any of the staff. The manager only said sorry when I was leaving the dealership. So out of all of this, what advice can I give you as a prospective new car buyer? I believe the best thing to do is to go to the dealership, not spend time with the new car salespeople, because once you buy the car, you'll never see them again. What you're best to do is go down to the service area, sit down there like I did for a couple of hours and actually have a listen to the dialogue, have a look at the customers that are sitting around waiting for their cars, waiting for a verdict on warranties. Listen to how they speak about customers and everything like that, because I tell you what, if I was treated the way I was treated before I purchased that car in that service area, there is absolutely no way we would have bought a Triton in any way, shape or form. It was disgusting, that dealership. So not all dealers are the same. Some dealers are fantastic, some are brilliant, some go above and beyond. What we experienced was absolutely dreadful. And as you can see, the car going back on a tow truck was just the cherry on top. Just going to talk a little bit about warranty, because I've obviously put a thumbnail up in regards to the Mitsubishi 1010. Is it a scam? Look, at the end of the day, I personally don't believe it's a scam, but there are major holes in this warranty, and I'll tell you why. So to begin with, as I said before, the staff at Mitsubishi putting on a performance of a lifetime when any prospective customers come up and ask them about the warranty concerns that they're having with their vehicle, they act surprised. So a matter of fact, in their opinion, Facebook and forums don't even exist. Common problems on Facebook. You could have 24,000 people in the Facebook group saying, yeah, we've got the same problems, but they will still act surprised. It's absolutely insane. And this is a warranty issue that we've recently had. Every now and then we'll start the car up and we'll get a belt noise coming, so a squealing belt at the front of the car. No real big deal. However, it's a little bit annoying. And for a car with 10 years of warranty on it, I thought, Mitsubishi, you better have a look at it and just double check. They checked the belt and said, oh look, at 30,000 kilometers, the belt is worn out. Now the replacement cost will come in at around about $270, which she turned around and said, oh no, that's a general wear and tear item. Pretty premature wearing belt, in my actual personal opinion. Now, and the only reason I say this is because I've had multiple vehicles in the past with drive belts on them that have been on there for many, many years, many kilometers. A 2-year-old Triton with 30,000 kilometers and already it has a worn out drive belt. Surely that's something to be covered under warranty. But according to Mitsubishi, it's not covered. So that's something you've really got to be mindful about the Mitsubishi 1010. If there's anything that they can turn around and say general wear and tear on, you could pretty much say the engine is based on general wear and tear. Where does the buck stop with Mitsubishi? And whilst we're on Mitsubishi and their common problems, we'll talk about a little bit more about how they don't like to resolve common issues overall on a generation. So what I'm talking about is the cracking exhaust manifolds, the intercooler pipes that also crack. An MQ Triton Pajero Sports also experience the same problems. You would think that Mitsubishi themselves would fix these issues for the next generation. However, they have never fixed these problems. From the MQ all the way back in 2015 to the Triton in 2023, they never fixed the problem. Now obviously we've talked a little bit of negativity in regards to the Mitsubishi Triton. Now we're not trying to be too negative, we're just simply stating what it's been like for the last 15,000 kilometers to 30,000 kilometers on our Mitsubishi Triton in total. So we've just had not a very good experience. However, there still is a lot of positive to go through. Starting with, there's been actually no major faults with the Triton. And when I say that, the engine, gearbox, diffs, etc., all have been absolutely solid. The car still performs exactly as it did when it was brand new. I feel that the Triton's drive is very much raw and authentic. It does still lack a little bit of refinement. It's Ford Ranger in regards to the new MV Triton and a lot of newer cars, it does lack that refinement. It does have a nice feel in its hydraulic steering rack, and also you do feel everything on the road. So another positive we want to put in there is we actually removed our factory head unit and put in a Vahidia head unit. This is hands down the best upgrade that we have done to this car. The reason for that is it gives us so much flexibility. Wireless Apple CarPlay, we can also go into different mapping apps. If you do something on your phone, you can actually synchronize that to the Vahidia head unit. Compatibility with the 360 cameras, and I think anybody who wants to tour it in their Triton or even use it for work, this is one of the best upgrades you can do to your car. Fuel economy based on all of the figures that we've done. So first of all, in its current configuration as it sits now with the fiberglass canopy and with the accessories that it has on it at the moment, it gets anywhere between 10 and 11 litres per 100 at all times. When we had the aluminium canopy configuration, it was anywhere between 12 to 13 litres per 100. Now obviously the rooftop tent up on top of the car wouldn't have helped any sort of fuel economy because it has the aero efficiency of a brick, but still it wasn't too bad for a car fully set up for touring. Just wanted to touch on the next review because this is going to be the biggest test for the Triton yet. The next review will be in the 45,000 kilometers. and we'll be going around Australia. Halfway around the lap of Australia, we'll have the vehicle serviced at a completely different dealership. We'll also be going around and talking about how the vehicle tows, as we've recently purchased a caravan. It'll also be really interesting to give all that feedback back to you guys. Especially if you're looking to do the same thing, it's going to be really handy before you go out, potentially buy a Triton. And we're really happy that we've ironed out a lot of the issues with the aftermarket parts. There's still a couple of little gremlins there that are still existent, but at the end of the day, we're definitely making significant progress. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate the support. If you've got any questions, reach out to us on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're really interested in following us around Australia, please like and subscribe. It'd mean the world to us.